2 seconds into the game. So obviously, Harry, they had words, and now they go to work. Now to Hull, breaking him all along. He shoots, he scores! Brett Hull ties it at 2. Oh, baby, Kelly Chase, does he give it, and they love it. Into the hot zone to Hull. Shoots, he scores! Brett Hull!
Welcome back to Ice Guardians, another episode coming at you. My buddy Brett Hull with you. And joining us, Brendan Morrow here in the Window World Studios, brought to you by Siteman Cancer Center. Mo, great having you, pal.
Excited to be here.
Thanks for coming in and joining us. And I know, I didn't get to play with you, and we have this thing where we call it 3 a.m. guys. Mo's a 3 a.m. guy. But I also say, when guys ask why'd you bring me in? Brad may ask that. I said, I always wanted to have guys in to talk to that I wished I played with. And Hully did play with you. I didn't get to. I wish I did. I play a lot in the summer with you.
Yeah.
Usually at the tree bar. But thanks for coming in, pal.
No problem. Happy to do it.
Yeah, and Hully, I said, well, are we going to get Mo talking a little bit? And we started laughing about it, and I said, well, I do have plenty of stories. I don't know how it would go with him if I told them all, but I think maybe we can.
I think the women were all in cahoots. They got me a couple cocktails on the way here.
Oh, they got you ready to talk? Because I know you don't like that public speaking thing, and it was.
Yeah, but this is private speaking.
Well, watching when he went in, the Stars Hall of Fame, I know how you were you didn't want any part of speaking.
No, that's not. And I think it's grown up in a small town in Saskatchewan. I mean, I'm comfortable with my team. I'm comfortable in my town in 900. But when it's going to be looked at and viewed in a bigger stage, I'm never comfortable with that stuff. Or speaking about myself, for that matter. Yeah.
Well, speak a little bit about where you come from, because you're from Estevan, Saskatchewan.
Close to there. I'm from Carlisle, Saskatchewan.
Carlisle.
A town of 900 people.
Yeah, Carlisle.
Well, when I was there, it's booming now. I think there were.
I've been arrested there.
You probably went through there, yeah. So Carlisle is my hometown.
Been arrested everywhere you've been.
I was there until I was probably 13, and then I had to start traveling for hockey.
Yeah.
And so that's where the Estevan probably came in.
No, I knew Carlisle as well, because during 9/11, they were pulling out the propane tanks and burying them underground and at all the borders. And I came in and I was facing the wrong direction. Well, the way the construction was, I was facing straight west, and I was at North
Portal, yeah.
North Portal. And the guy came out and talked to me and said, all right, have a good summer. And I took off. And pretty soon I'm looking, and right outside of Carlisle, the lights are coming at me, and the lights are coming from behind me. I'm like, must be an accident somewhere. Pretty soon, I'm on the side of the road, mosquitoes as big as barn swallows.
Yeah.
And I'm laying face down, handcuffed, a guy kneeling on my back. Said, you ran the border. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I stopped at the border. I went, well, it was a U.S. immigration officer. These donkeys were probably playing cards or something, that came out and talked to me. And they all thought I was going south. So I got arrested in Carlisle. I spent the night in jail.
It's about a 45-minute drive, so you must have been clicking pretty good.
I was humming.
Well, hold on. They're not open to conversation to go, you guys told me to go, and because of the construction, I must have been facing the wrong way, or...
Well, listen to this. By the time they actually took me back to the border, the U.S. side had been closed. So there's nobody to ask, did he come do this or anything? And they got a jail in the Canadian side. It's as big as this table. And that's where I was sleeping that night. And I was trying to get back early, which is why I was flying. I was trying to get back for a buddy's birthday party. And by the time, but you know what saved me? I ended up getting stopped at the border about 4 times the next year. They would pull me over, pull me in. Finally, I actually called North Portal. I said, I'm going to sue you guys because you stole a bunch of Brett Hull signed sticks. I know you did. I know you stole memorabilia out of my truck. And I said, and kept it. And every one of you fuckers are going to know. Because I said, I'm suing you. And I literally, whatever was on my record got lifted because I didn't get stopped again. But I know that for sure they took at least one of your sticks.
Well, he's a big Canadian, so
Yeah,
of course.
They took your sticks. Well, he used to, I think that's why I used to write 39 on the, for no other reason, on the knob of my stick because of his sticks, because I knew they were going to steal them all. It said Hull on them. It's like, I'll be the one. He'll be borrowing them from me, even though they were warped, and gave me every shit stick he had left.
Well, you didn't really need them for much. Jesus. Call a spade, right?
So where did you play? Like when you said you had, did you go to Estevan? Is that?
I did. So a year or two in Cardiff, which was about the same size as Carlisle.
Yeah.
They just had a double-A team. I think I played Adam, which is 11 and under there, and then moved over to Estevan for 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
I got cut from midget AAA in Moose Jaw. Went back, played another year in Estevan in Bantam AA in 58 games. I had 117 goals and 72 assists, 400 penalty minutes.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so
And how
who
old
knows
were
how
you
many
doing this?
I was 15. I was 15 playing AA Bantam, and I could have. Who knows if I didn't have 400 penalty minutes, how many points I would have.
Right.
The refs got under my skin, so I yelled at them. So anyway, it was probably the best thing that happened because I got a lot of confidence there. Portland Winterhawks listed me. There was a scout, Dale Hansen was his name. I think he worked, I'm going to screw it up, it was either Prince Albert or Saskatoon. And he said he had his eye on me, but he knew he was taking another job, so he didn't really fill that information in for his old team. I got listed with Portland and kind of, made that step from 15 to joining the Winterhawks at 16.
Now you were a little bit, you were a little bit heavy.
I was a little heavy, so I'll do my best to tell this story quickly. But because of that year I played, I went and played on Team West. We had this tournament in Moncton, New Brunswick. It was in the summertime, so I missed training camp. I flew from this tournament that probably the top, I don't know how many kids from Canada, but there was Team Alberta had a team, I think BC, Team West, Team Ontario. And so a bunch of us missed training camp, but I wasn't the top pick like most of these guys were. I wasn't even drafted. But all my equipment, my luggage, nothing showed up flying across the country from New Brunswick to Portland. None of my gear showed up. My coach at the time, Brent Peterson in Portland, he took me to Gap. He bought me a couple track suits, and I'm wearing all brand new gear. And so anyway, I have a decent training camp. I make the team. I'm not sure at this point I did, but because I missed training camp, I didn't weigh in, and they had that big metal, I don't know what that scale is called.
Slide.
You got to slide it over.
Hell.
So the trainer, Innes Mackey's probably weighed in 500 guys at this point. So he starts at 16-year-old. He's going to be around 150. Slides the weight. Solid. It's not budging. Slides it, pulls a big one over, slides it. Finally at 227, this thing starts to budge. And he goes, fuck it, I'm calling it, 227. I didn't know that's bad. Whatever, I just go back to my stall. I start getting ready for practice. My mom never called me fat. I'm sure other guys I was playing against called me fat. My mom never did. So I'm starting to I got my gitch on. Inch calls me, Brendan, coach wants to see you. So I walk over to the coach's room. It's Innes Mackey, the trainer, now scoots to the back of the room. Brent Peterson, the coach. Ken Hodge, the GM. And Hodge's in the chair. He goes, Brendan, lift up your shirt. So I just lift my shirt up. Holy fuck, get the hell out of here. Well, I'm 16. I understand the tone. At this point, this isn't good. I go back to, I'm flushed. I'm turning red in the face. And whoever my stallmate was, what's that all about? They probably thought I was getting cut. I thought at this point I'm getting cut. And so about 30 seconds later, Brent Peterson walks in the locker room. He goes, Brendan, come with me. And now I'm thinking, well, that's it. Here I go back to Saskatchewan. And he's got some, white Renfrew tape. He's got a black Sharpie over his ear. He walks me back over to this stationary bike. He rips off a piece of tape, puts it on the bike. They gave me 29. He takes off the Sharpie, the lid, writes 29 on this tape. He goes, "Congratulations, you made the team, but you're riding this fucking bike until Christmas."
Really?
Yeah. So by Christmas, I mean, I was always decent at hockey, playing in the small town. I never worked out a day in my life.
yeah.
My parents had 2 jobs. My mom ran a bar. I think you guys have heard the stories. I was having beer and beef jerky at 13, not because I wanted to drink beer. It was convenient. We lived in a bar. We lived above a bar, and it was easier to have that than, milk and cereal.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
What do you know what you got down to? Like,
I know that I got down to about 205 by the end of that season of playing. And most kids, as you know, playing junior, they're all trying to gain weight. So it's lunches at they're at Mickey D's all the time. And I'm like, I'll have the salad at McDonald's. But the biggest difference was I'm living with a billet family. And this isn't a knock on my parents. I'm saying that they worked their asses off for my brother and I to do what we did. But we lived in the bar, and it was convenient to have Chef Boyardee, Pizza Pocket, whatever, just convenience because how quick it was so they could get back to work. Now I'm living with a billet family, and she's cooking every meal. And and then burning it off. We're skating every day. So I got to about 205 when I left. I went home. By the time I showed up to training camp the next year, I was 195.
Okay.
So I had a good summer.
So that's a hell of a lot of weight for a young guy to lose.
Yeah, 35. It was probably, if he pulled it at 227, it may have went to 231. I'm not sure what it was, but yeah, probably 35 pounds.
Wow, that's great. That's great. And then the next year, you guys win the Memorial Cup?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who was on the team?
Well, we got really lucky, and this kid from Slovakia played about a week or two in Ottawa, and they released him to go get some North American seasoning. His name was Marion Hossa. And we were pretty stacked. A lot of guys, Joey Tedderang, I'm not sure you'd recognize a lot of these names, but for junior, Todd Robinson was the leading scorer of the league. We had a really, really strong team. We were ranked first at the start of the year when we finished, first. So we were pretty strong. Our buddy, Mike Hurley, who we spend the summers with, was a 50-goal scorer. We traded for him from, he was in Tri-Cities. We got him at the deadline, and we were.
Matt Walker?
We had Wax, Wax, tough.
Yeah.
What a tough farm boy he was.
Farm boy. Story on him is when he got his last offer, his agent called him and said, well, it's the first offer, and it was from Tampa. And it was the first offer he had got as a free agent. He said, I'm going to my dad's hardware store, and if that fucking contract isn't at my dad's hardware store, faxed when I get there, you're fired. In other words, I think they made a mistake and signed the wrong Walker, because Scotty Walker, you know how funny he is.
Yeah.
Scotty Walker was a free agent too. He goes, they signed the wrong Walker. I feel positive about it.
That's good.
And he went to book and signed a contract as a free
He's
agent.
making beer now, isn't he?
He owns a beer company. Yeah. So
What's it called?
I don't know. I can't remember. Jacks would know because they're pretty tight. But so then you make them out of junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were drafted what? Second round?
No, I was at the end of the first round.
End of the first round.
Yeah. I had 9 games in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Oof.
I don't know who it was that got hurt, but I had a high ankle sprain, and while I was down in Kalamazoo for these 9 games, make it sound rough, it wasn't that bad, 9 games, but there was a couple guys that I thought I was possibly better than they got picked, up to the top team because there were injuries with the Stars, and I had this high ankle sprain, and then
That was the North Stars, Kalamazoo.
well, it was
Did Dallas keep?
Michigan K-Wings. When you were with Dallas, their farm team was Michigan K-Wings in Kalamazoo.
Yep.
I played 9 games there, got better from my high ankle sprain. I think it was Letts that ended up getting hurt like late November, early December, and I got called up. And then Met my hero.
Met your hero. Now, you used to have his poster on your wall.
Couple of them. It was freaky.
And my body too, according to the stories.
It wasn't that bad. No, it was. I had the Golden Brett. I had a couple, and then when I was like, I can't remember if I was 13 or 14, but I was watching the Midas. What was it? Top Gun. It was before every game when I was this
the
entire
Midas,
year.
the Top
it
Gun.
was like my superstition. I had to watch the Brett Hull video, Midas Top Gun, before every game. So it was,
All right. Well, let's take a little break, and we'll be back with Brendan Morrow on Ice Guardians.
Now it's time for your Get Check moment of the game. And today we're talking about prostate cancer. Did you know that besides skin cancer, prostate cancer is the most common cancer among American men? But it's very treatable, especially with early detection. Fellas, please speak to your primary physician about knowing when to get your PSA test done. A simple blood test could save your life. Typically, it's recommended you get the first test done around the age of 50. But if your family has a history of other factors, you may opt to get it done as early as your 40s. It's a simple blood test, and that's it. And if you're in Missouri or the Illinois area, you can go to getscreenednow.com, or you type in your zip code and find a screening location near you. Or you visit siteman.washu.edu.
Wow, nice hustle. The only time I get to see that much drive is when I feed my dog. Nugget loves every flavor of Diamond Naturals adult formula. Every time I fill her bowl, it's like a breakaway. I think she loves Diamond Naturals almost as much as she loves the Blues. They both come from Missouri. Maybe it's local pride. All I do know is to step away from the bowl come feeding time, because she'll rough you up if you get in the way.
Hully, you are a legend on the ice, but you're no legend in the repair shop.
You're right, Chaser. I couldn't fix a car if it came with a playbook.
That's why you got Car Shield. When your car breaks down, they help and handle all the expensive repairs.
Yep, my first call is Car Shield, and boom, covered. No huge repair bills, no stress.
So you can save the game face for the golf course.
Exactly.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts, exclusions at carshield.com. DraftKings Sportsbook, built for the world stage. Favorites feel the pressure, underdogs rise. Everyone's skating for gold. DraftKings Sportsbook lets you back in your country or the team you ride with every step of the way. New customers, you bet just $5. Bet wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Wow. Use the code GUARDIANS, that's code GUARDIANS, bet $5 to win $200 in bonus bets. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Welcome back to Ice Guardians from the Window World Studios, brought to you by Siteman Cancer Centers with our friend Brendan Morrow. And when we just left, we were talking about right before you came up to the Stars with us, and we went to the finals, and unfortunately came up a little short, but I think everybody knew at that point what the Stars had in young Brendan Morrow, who obviously was going to be the future captain of that team, and it's a quality draft pick. Now, my roommate was Guy Carbonneau, who turns out to be your father-in-law now because you married Anne-Marie, his daughter.
You want me to go
Well,
down
I
that
don't
road?
know.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you now. Yeah.
Yes.
No, but see, I had known Anne-Marie.
Wow.
And I used to give her shit all the time and go, "Don't get smart with me, Anne-Marie." I used to change her diapers, and it had to take her 10 years before she finally looked at me and goes, "You're so full of shit. You never changed my diapers. You met me when I was 12. And I go, "Well, that took you long enough."
Yeah. Blonde joke time.
12?
No.
Yeah. She would have been about 12 when we played with her.
So my story with that is obviously team parties, team functions. There's this attractive, and I'm 20, so it's not. I think she was
11.
17 or 18 at that point. She would have been 17.
Just graduated, senior in high school.
Yeah, so and it became a joke amongst the team. players, hey, Brendan, your daughter, obviously she had my attention. And then there were a few times where Carbo would say after games, hey, my daughter's coming out to dinner. Do you want to come to? And so I didn't feel like I was stepping on any toes.
God,
I didn't know this backstory at this point, which I do know now, that Emery had seen games and saw me on TV and said, I want to marry that. I didn't know that at the time. I'm trying not to chase my teammate's daughter.
Right.
But it feels like, he's
Pushing it a little bit.
he's making this more and more comfortable. And so it took a couple months, and I do remember we were in San Jose at a big team meal. I'll tell this story when I knew it was kind of okay. We were at a big team meal. Mike Keane, who we all know, hopefully you get, if you haven't had him on the pod soon, he's going to be incredible. But he's on one side of the table. Carbo's probably over here next to me. And when you hear your name in the story, you just you listen. And I hear Keener say, hey, Carbo, what's the deal with Brendan and your daughter? And I'm in the conversation, but I hear it, and I go, and he goes, I don't know. The kid does not have the balls. And then I'm like, finally, after a month or two of this happening, going to team meals, team functions, I'm like, well, that is an in if I've ever heard one. So,
Right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that, man. So,
Yeah.
so then,
she's chewing on the pillow. What do we mean then?
that
now
was
it's,
the end of that.
25 years later, we got 3 kids.
She had the
where do you
hooks in
take-
him
where
from
do you
day
take
one.
her to? Where do you
Oh,
go out?
shit.
Where do you what's the play?
I think we went to like an Ifratelli, and if you know what Ifratelli
Yeah,
is in
it's
Dallas, it's not like some
nothing special.
swanky. Yeah, no. So we just
Although
went to
for what an
Ifratelli.
unbelievable city it is for food and things, they have terrible Italian food.
Yeah, I think
There's
it's
not
getting
that many.
better.
Well, of course, but I mean it's growing like gangbusters. But we went to the finals that year, and you were on my left wing for a little bit.
Yeah.
How did
Well,
that go?
I was actually in the finals. I had that big bitch Dave Anderchuk. I don't know if you even remember this part. Anderchuk falls on me, cranks my ankle. I break my ankle or crack it. I didn't break it in the finals, and so I'm not playing for a couple games. I'm sitting up in the stands with Anne Marie, and CBC comes up and interviews me in the stands next to it. And then it becomes a huge story in the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, it was the semifinals against Colorado when it happened.
Right.
But it became this story where now media's making it a big deal, and Hitch is worried that Carbo's not okay with this, and it becomes bigger than the Dallas Stars in the finals. It needed to be nipped right away. Yeah, but yeah, the finals. I think I maybe played a little bit with you. I was mostly with Keener and Carbo on like the fourth line, but I got a little bit of time with you and Mo.
And that's when I told you, hey, time to change your number. I go, there's no good players ever wore number 45.
It was actually that summer we came back training camp, and he goes to Hitch. He can't play in the NHL with a football number. You need to get him a real number. And so at that point, it was like 14-10. There may
Yeah,
have been
because Screwy, I think, had retired.
Yeah, I can't remember the other numbers, but John Sim, I didn't have a reason to like any of them, but John Sim had 14 in junior, or it was his favorite number, so he took 14, and I took 10, and then I just got lucky with every team I played on. 10 was available, with the exception of Pittsburgh, but every Team Canada event I played on until I had seniority, and then
Then it didn't matter.
Yeah, then it was mine. Yeah.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah, well, we've played with a million guys, and we know what leadership is, and we've seen all sorts of leaders. The guys who go out and fight, the guys who lead by example with effort, and guys who are just really good in the room. Yep. But there's a guy who pretty well epitomized every one of those.
Checked all the boxes.
Yeah, he led by example.
Right.
He stuck up for his teammates. He was great in the room. He took care of guys and
Scored, played hard.
scored. Yeah, and I think the greatest story that I know of was his pal, my pal, who I really like, Steve Ott. And I think everybody knows that story about his, you want to take it and explain it a little bit?
I'll tell it. I'll tell the start of it,
Alright.
and you can talk about it. But he had a teammate who ended up being with his wife. And
Not a teammate, his best friend.
right. And so you figured out there's going to be a fight, and
Because
this guy was a
his
tough guy
team
too,
comes
right?
to town.
He was a big boy. And Steve is tough as nails,
Yeah.
but you know.
But
you
it had
never
gotten
know.
out.
You it had amongst.
And
our
didn't like
team
the
and
league
theirs,
call him and say, hey,
If they did, I wasn't aware of it. I didn't want Steve to have to be the one to do that. Just
right.
You never know how that could end or which way that would go. but
Right.
You're already taking one in the chin. You don't want to have to take another.
Right.
So.
right.
But that's the type of leader Brendan was. And first shift, he goes and it's like time to go. And they went at it.
I don't think, wasn't it your coach? Was Tip coaching?
Tip was
He
coaching.
didn't know what the hell was going on, did he?
Well, I don't think either of them did, but it was the first time, and I've seen some other guys go and tell the coach, I want to play with so and so, or
Yeah,
I want to start the game, or whatever. I had never at this point in my career ever complained about who I was playing with,
Yeah, yeah.
and this is the only time I went to Tip and I said, I'm starting tonight, and I don't need any questions, just make sure I'm in the starting lineup. Put me in, and maybe he went, hey, what was up with that, and asked somebody else. He didn't ask any questions to me. He did it.
Started you.
Yeah. And then thank God the other guy was out there at the start because I didn't want to have to play for 3 minutes before I did that. So
Well, you know,
we got it over.
you got
quick.
anxiety.
Yeah. No, I just didn't want to be tired.
Oh, yeah,
Because
waiting on him.
You know the way he played, he was going to run into about 15 guys and skate as hard as he can. And
Four
you're
of
not
them are
going
gonna be his
you
own
ain't going to
team.
last 3 minutes doing that.
Gonna run into 15 guys, and 4 of them would be on his own team.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're in the way.
Yeah.
So
You're either in or in the way, and you might be on either team if you're in the way.
I don't. So there's a story. But the greatest hit I've ever seen in my life was in the conference finals against San Jose.
Milan Lucic. No,
Mikhailic.
Milan
Mikhailic.
Oh my God! I have never
Coming
seen.
back down the wall.
I've never seen anyone get
I don't
hit
know how
this
many
hard in my
games
life.
Ray would suspend me in this
Oh,
era.
my
but
God.
Today's game, but yeah, clipped him.
I mean,
The funny thing
it's
is, I mean, it's
almost
clean
you could
hit.
almost go. Oh, totally clean hit.
But it was to the head.
I mean, it was
Well,
kind
because
of
guy had
shoulder
his
on
head
shoulder,
down.
but
Yeah.
he didn't see it, and
At all.
It got me pretty good too. I was a little flustered
'cause
Thank
that was
God
a
it was-
collision.
yeah, thank God you had
They had to
whatever
end the-
12
they-
minutes before the
Yeah, they
15
ended the
minutes.
period early
Yeah.
because he could not. He was like a bowl of jelly, and then even you'd watch it and you're just sitting there going, "Holy cow!"
Yeah.
And then they get him up, and in the Dallas, the American Airlines Center, the big gates open up in the middle of the ice, and
Yeah.
the Stars enter and go that way. And they took this kid off of there instead of down in the
I
far
know. I
corner.
remember.
And he took 2 steps and he went down again in the tunnel. And I'm like, holy
Somebody
cow.
help him.
And,
Yeah.
and I think he ended up signing an Ottawa. But he never played again.
Well, I hit a guy, a defenseman that wore number 3 for San Jose, and I can't. It's
Cronin the Barbarian.
No, but it was like. I keep forgetting this kid's name. He was,
Was he
from,
the
like,
Swede?
played
Was he
Medicine
your
Hat.
pal?
Was it Big Dougie Murray?
No, but it was like Dougie. He played like Dougie. He was their 3rd pick from Medicine Hat.
Badger?
Mike
Bodger?
Rathje?
Rathje.
Oh, Mike
Yeah.
Rath.
I ran at him as hard as I could, and I was on the bench going, and Ray Borelli comes down, are you all right? I said, no, I'm not. And he goes, what hurts? I said, everything. I thought he broke my collarbone. I thought, I ran at him like you ran at the guy, and he saw me at the last second. I thought he killed me. Like, I was just like a puddle. I got to the bench, and so the timing of that kind of shit in that league is unbelievable. And it's very rare to catch a guy in the league like you did, right? Like, I remember Dallas Drake used to be pretty good at catching guys coming around the net.
This guy named Scott
He'd
Stevens.
come all the way back down from that side, and that's what happened there, right?
He went the whole way around the
I
rink
know,
and came up. I almost took Zuby out at the same time. Zuby was kind of, giving him
Fishing for the puck.
Boom.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it was 6 seconds left of the game. It completely, changed things for us.
And then you won it in overtime.
Well, it took four overtimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
And then won it again in overtime again the next night.
No,
Or
that was to finish.
Was that 7?
That was game.
Okay. Because that's because you had won it in overtime
it and they
the night
didn't
before,
allow the goal.
game before, and
Yeah,
because it said it went off your glove or
They
something.
said I was in, goalie interference. There was, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, they disallowed. I think I did win one in overtime, and then the next game.
Yeah, because I was the
disallowed
GM,
goal.
wasn't I?
Yeah. Yes.
Jesus. All right, let's take another break, and we'll be back with Brendan Morrow. I'm Brett Hull.
I'm Kelly Chase.
His whole career was checking everything that moved.
Yeah, well, I'm still checking for cancer. Regular cancer screenings are an important way to take control of your health.
Siteman Cancer Center will help you get started. Visit GetScreenedNow.com.
Preventative screenings are one of the best ways to detect cancer early when it's easiest to treat.
You ever check anyone?
Nah, too busy scoring.
Hold on a second. I got it. Let's go.
I could have scored 86 with air in the pucks. Our town, our team, our builder. McBride & Son Homes. They're everywhere you want to live.
Score big at Hippos Dispensaries with locations in Chesterfield, Columbia, and Springfield. Daily deals that keep your wallet in the game, top cannabis brands you know and trust, and bud tenders who feel like teammates. Hippos, your home rink for cannabis in Missouri.
On the ice, the enforcer protects the team. At home, you need something that protects your house as well. That's why St. Louis trusts Window World for replacement windows, doors, and siding.
Locally owned and operated since 2003, they've installed windows in nearly 80,000 homes. Their windows come standard with double strength glass, a lifetime warranty, including breakage.
Well, listen, 60% of the appointments 2025 came from previous customers' referrals, and because people know that they deliver.
Right now, get 0% APR for 36 months. Call 800-GET-WINDOWS for details about credit cost and terms. For new accounts, the APR for purchase is 29.99%, subject to credit approval.
Welcome back to the Window World Studios, brought to you by Siteman Cancer Center. You're listening to Ice Guardians, my buddy Brett Hull, and our great friend Brendan Morrow joining us. And Mo, we just got rolling a little bit in the break, talking a little bit about upcoming Olympics in Italy. And man, you got to play in an exciting one.
Yeah,
was
that's
that
got to be
experience?
cool for a Canadian kid to do that.
Yeah, it was almost, believe it or not, it was more relief, winning than joy. But of
that
course,
pressure.
yeah, playing at home was great. Having that close to having friends and family be a part of it, but it was honestly, it was more relief that we won, expected to win, doing it at home, than actually, and then even the celebration after wasn't what I expected. I thought we were going to burn the place down, and it was like guys were on planes going this way and that way back to
their
playing
teams, right?
games, and so we had our family room. I had to go take a piss, do the whatever drug testing after the game, so. You go down and you got to do your media scrum thing, and then I got this shadow that follows me right after the game, and I got to go. I'm like, I could do this in 5 minutes. I could bang this out real quick. So you go back, and the paperwork takes 15. But in the meantime, Gretz had come through the locker room. The Prime Minister had gone through the locker room. Everyone showered up in the family room, and by the time I got there, a couple people had already said their goodbyes and gone. So the celebration wasn't what I thought. Obviously, having a gold medal, doing it, having my family there, close friends, it was all of that was incredible. But the pinnacle or the celebration afterwards wasn't what I expected.
Oh, yeah. What about just leading up to it, the emotion? Like, there had to be some kind of anxiety or something, because the stress of being in Canada
Yeah.
and the expectations.
Well, for me personally, I got on the team. I'm sure Army and Hitch were working like hell to get me a part of it, because I didn't think that the group of guys, I know you got to make a strong team, and every different facet of the game needs to, but the amount of people or those names of guys on the team, I'm like, holy shit, I'm playing. But I was on the fourth line. There was 4 of us. We were swapping in and out. I think it was Bergeron, myself, Mike Richards, and I can't remember who the other. There was 4 of us that kind of,
Rotated,
we
yeah.
rotated, and we got smoked 5-2 by U.S. in the round robin. And I remember having a meeting, and I know if Kami was on here, he's going to bitch about Babs. I love Babs. For a 2-week tournament, he was great. He knocked his meetings out quick. He would say hi to you when you were in the locker room. If you didn't say hi back immediately, he was gone. He didn't give a fuck how you were. He was just going to say hi to you and leave. He didn't want to hear everything was quick. I liked how his meetings were run quick. You didn't sit in there going, oh my God. Well, anyway, after we lose 5-2, he goes, Brendan, come to my office, come see me. I go back there, he says, we may not win this tournament, but we're not getting pushed around anymore. And he put me on the line from there with Getzlaff and Perry, and
That changed the
that
whole
changed.
thing.
For me,
There's
I
no
changed
question
my
about it.
game, because now I'm confident. I'm playing. These guys were cycling, we're kind of overpowering teams, and then I'm getting more and more confidence playing with these guys. And so, yeah, I think it really, definitely, there was a little turn. And it may have
Did you
just
score?
been, I got a couple goals
Nice.
after that. Yeah,
See, that's the coolest thing.
but
I scored in the
it
Olympics.
It was probably just him saying that changed everything, maybe, or it was just getting our ass kicked by USA changed everything, because we
No,
were
I agree.
motivated
I
after
agree that you going with those 2 guys,
No,
and that's how I always like to call coaches dumb, but how you couldn't see that trio being a good line from day one.
well, when you talk about who was on the fourth line to start with, I mean, you're like, Bergeron? Like, that's a pretty good, that fourth line was good to start with.
Yeah.
But it's just the chemistry, I guess, that you got with guys. And
Yeah,
Perry
and-
and Getzlaff already had it, so you joining in was perfect.
And it just, I think just what our strengths were. I like to get to the front of the net. They like to work the cycle. They, it just, it was a great line, and it really gelled for us there.
That's special. So what ended up happening after that then? Did you have to go out of town right away, or were you?
No, I spent the night, and then a few of us, I think myself, our wives, we went to a Italian restaurant. We, it was family first, so there was a few. The single guys, they went and tore it up. I think Dowdy and Taze, they probably had a Roxy night and tore it up, and but we had a chill night, because by the time I got back to the family room, people had kind of spread out in their own family section. So there was, once people were leaving, there was a quick goodbye and good luck the rest of the season. But there wasn't the 25 guys that's just sit, like after you guys won the cup in Buffalo, did you not sit in the locker room, just you guys and your family come in there?
Yeah, we didn't get home till 9 a.m. back to Dallas.
Yeah.
So it was, but Buffalo, they weren't even going to give us any beer or champagne after the game. It's like, my wife went and grabbed the forklift and brought the pallet of beer down to the dressing room.
No way.
Yeah.
That's
It was like,
hilarious.
right? I mean, but yeah, because the Olympics, it's in the middle of the season. Because I remember when, we got the silver in Salt Lake City, we were on a plane early the next morning flying back to Detroit.
Yeah, I think we had a game 2 nights later.
Right.
It was quick, because there were guys that were flying right from. They were flying private, maybe even from 2 different teams. They went from Vancouver down to San Jose, and it was like you're right back into it.
Yeah. Not a lot of time to.
Yeah,
It's not like winning
your
the
best
cup.
buddies. You won together, and then we're gonna fuck you up 2 nights later.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Well, we made sure. Well, when the Blues won the cup, we got in enough partying for everybody on the team and every.
Isn't that the truth?
Jesus.
But now that we're retired, doing a lot of golfing together, me and you belong to the same golf club in Dallas, Preston Trail, the all men's club, and it's there's a lot of golf. And if you thought he was an angry hockey player, he's the angriest MFing golfer on the planet.
First of all, best putter I've ever seen.
Ever.
And
Best putter
and then he gets angry
ever.
about shots, and I'm like, you're 4 under. Shut up.
Yeah.
But I just don't say that. I just, as I'm 14 over at the same point. Oh my God! And I watch you guys, but you guys play with some great golfers too, like Spieth, and like you guys go around and play with a lot of those guys. Scheffler, yeah.
We play with the slowest human being alive, Tony Romo.
He's not slow once he gets there. He likes to show up a little late, but yeah,
Well,
he moves around.
We
once he's
changed the
there.
rules of Wolf
Yeah.
because he's so slow.
Oh, he
Yeah.
takes his, oh, okay.
So you don't go in the order.
Yeah.
You just go because he's going to be the last one to hit every single time. But he's pretty damn good
He's
player.
a good player.
Yeah, good.
So my golf, this is how I got started. My hometown, Carlisle, it was
Sand
9
greens?
holes, sand greens. I didn't play much. But when I got to training camp, the North Americans would play golf and the Europeans would go fishing. So I want to hang out with, my idol and Darian Hatcher, Mike Modano, all the North American guys. And I used to play left-handed. I played hockey left. My dad had left-handed clubs. So I go training camp. They're out of left-handed rentals, so I play right. I'm just a shitty right, so I stay right. But the reason I got in, and I don't think I bought a set of clubs for 15 years because, Dum over here, he had every new set on the planet. So I had as many clubs as I needed from Hully, and that was kind of my journey into golf was because of him.
And Carbo.
Well, the North American guys, but Carbo. That was a funny story. That fell in the creek at Glen Eagles. Yeah, but you guys were big golfers. Hatch, Matty, all you guys.
One of the first rounds you played with us had to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life at Glen Eagles up there.
Yeah, it's another course in Dallas.
Yeah, and it was springtime, right? So it was a little
season was
little
just
wet.
over. No, the season was over.
Oh, it was summer.
It was after because
Okay.
I'll tell the story. You may remember the hole. It's that par 5 with this long creek. So everyone tees off, and then there's this creek that goes across the fairway and runs the length of the hole. And everything I hit was a slice. So I slice my drive out there, and then the green's out. I slice my ball on the other side of the creek, and it's 250 yards from the green. So I just get out. I take my wedge. I run 200 yards up by the green, and I flop it up probably somewhere near the green. I don't know if I hit it. And I go to the creek bed, and I test it. Solid, take a couple steps back. And these guys have all gone and hit their second shots and third shots maybe, and now they're on the green, but it's elevated. They don't see what I'm doing. I go to the creek bed, I take a couple steps back, go to run, sucks my foot up to my ankle, face plant, into the creek. I got mud in my nose and my ears everywhere. And I finally come walking up. I wasn't gonna go 200 yards back and then so 400. No, fuck that. I've lost a little weight, but I'm still fatty at heart. I'm not going the whole way. So anyway, I come walking up the creek bed up to the green, and these guys are, I look like the Loch Ness Monster coming up. But it's Dallas in June, so I take a wet towel, I wipe myself. By 2 holes later, it looked like nothing happened. It just dried right up.
God, it was funny, though. That could have been the start of the angryism, because I've witnessed some of the destruction of styrofoam cups like I have never seen before in my life. And the
steering wheel,
it's amazing he didn't break his hands all the time. And it was like, it's unreal. But
Well, I listen and watch you guys and get to play with you guys. And I got to tell you, man, there's times where I'm amazed at how you guys play. And then I'm amazed at how pissed off you get when I'm like, it's 5 feet. I was 60 yards. I'm like, it's 5 feet. Like it's 5 feet. Well, he'd make the putt. I have to howl.
I got to tell you, for a terrible putter or a terrible golfer, you're a pretty good putter.
I was until this summer.
All right.
And when you're 100, I guess I was 165, 70 pounds this summer. Yeah. Couldn't hit the ball. Got the driver out. Couldn't hit the ball 110 yards. Embarrassing. Went out by myself about 3 times. I'm like, I quit. I quit. And then ended up playing in the member guest. In the last round, I couldn't play because I was so sick. And of course, that's when we found out leukemia came back. And I felt so bad because Curtis Physician and I were leading our flight, and he had to play by himself. And we lose. Hurls beats us on the last hole.
No.
Yeah. And I felt so bad for him. I'm like, I couldn't swing a club. I was just useless. So I gave it like hell to just get ready for that member guest. In the last 9 holes, I played 3. And it pissed me off. But we're going to get back in the fight a little bit here, boys.
Yeah.
We need to take a break.
Yep. We'll be back from the Window World Studios, presented by Siteman Cancer Center. Now it's time for our Get Checked moment of the game. And today, we're talking about breast cancer. And if you're a gentleman watching, please tell your wives, girlfriends, friends, daughters, sisters, aunts, and even your mother-in-law. Gals watching, listen closely to this. If you're 40 or older and haven't yet gotten your mammogram, it is so important that you do. Women who undergo regular yearly screening for breast cancer have better outcomes than women who don't. If you have family history of breast cancer, there is a chance you will need to start getting screened even earlier. And that's something to talk to your primary care physician about. Siteman Cancer Centers offer a mobile mammography van that parks at convenient places like Schnucks and Walmart all over town, so you can get screened on your way to run errands. Check out the van schedule and make an appointment on Siteman's website, siteman.washu.edu, or type in your zip code at getscreennow.com. If you're in Missouri or Illinois, to find multiple locations near you to get screened.
On the ice, the enforcer protects the team. At home, you need something that protects your house as well. That's why St. Louis trusts Window World for replacement windows, doors, and siding.
Locally owned and operated since 2003, they've installed windows in nearly 80,000 homes. Their windows come standard with double strength glass, a lifetime warranty, including breakage.
Well, listen, 60% of the appointments 2025 came from previous customers' referrals, and because people know that they deliver.
Right now, get 0% APR for 36 months. Call 800-GET-WINDOWS for details about credit cost and terms. For new accounts, the APR for purchase is 29.99%, subject to credit approval.
Guys.
I got these 2 knuckleheads.
Sorry, man. Score big at Hippos Dispensaries with locations in Chesterfield, Columbia, and Springfield. Daily deals that keep your wallet in the game, top cannabis brands you know and trust, and bud tenders who feel like teammates. Hippos, your home rink for cannabis in Missouri.
Welcome back to Ice Guardians. Kelly Chase, Brett Hall, our friend Brendon Morrow joining us from the Window World Studios, and presenting sponsor, of course, Siteman Cancer Center, who've saving my life, so I got to make sure I mention them. And I wanted to ask you just a little bit, like, because at the end of your career, and you're this guy that everybody kind of wants at the deadline. And so what was your decision-making on the end? Was it Tampa, Pittsburgh, us?
No, it was Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Tampa.
Okay. tell me, like, how do you download, hey, this is the team, I think, because you're looking to win a cup.
Yeah, well, I was lucky, and some of it was, I was able to handle that, having a no trade at the time. Not everyone gets that, but part of it was the Stars were not going to re-sign me, so of course I wanted to finish my career there. But when that wasn't going to be possible, I was told, we're thinking we're going to go a different direction. So then, all right, who are the best contenders? And Pittsburgh just seemed like the right fit with the star players they had.
Yeah.
There was other options. I know Boston was one, and I don't know. Chicago ended up winning. I don't believe that was an option. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But I know Pitt, and I had played with Sid in the Olympics in 2010, so he's not a bad guy to jump on the coattails. So that was kind of the decision there, was who's going to give us the best chance, because that's what I wanted to do, was win one before I was done. And so that was the decision, was to go to Pittsburgh over the other options. And that didn't work out. We got swept by Boston in the, I believe it was the conference finals. We got, Tuukka Rask got hot and took care of us. And then it took a little time to decide, and Doug Armstrong called after a long summer for me, not knowing where I was going to go, and came here to St. Louis. Great group of guys. So that was kind of the time when things changed. Protein shakes, nutrition, and then coming from Pittsburgh, where that was the case, to St. Louis, was back to old school again. Kind of, have a couple beers after the game, sit with the trainers after the game. So that was awesome. Unfortunately for me and the team, again, Chicago, I think, that beat us that year. I broke my foot, second last game of the regular season. Tried to play a little bit in the playoffs, and then it just spiraled, fractured, and I was done, I think, after game 3 or 4. I'd play a game or two and then take a game off, player game. And then I was done on that. And then our good buddy from Gazer the next year in Tampa Bay, Cooper, and Steve Eiersman, again, had a connection from the Olympics, went to Tampa, and that was awesome. I love Tampa. 10 minutes everywhere. Airport 10 minutes, practice rink 10 minutes, game rink 10. And it kind of also, almost being the old guy, you never really, I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but I always felt like I was still kind of the young. I'm like, holy, it went so fast. How did I all of a sudden become the old guy? Right. I was always like the young guy. And even, I Preston Trail where we golf, I'm the young guy. I was always kind of the young guy. And all of a sudden, look, I'm like, holy shit, I'm the old guy. But it rejuvenated me, and I loved Tampa, and we got close. Game 6, Stanley Cup Finals, Chicago. Everything bad happened to me. I got stepped on in Chicago. I lost to Chicago. Chicago kind of stuck it in me.
I know that they've been our nemesis for a few years, too. Of course, we smacked them around a couple of years in the playoffs, too.
Yeah, there was. It was with our division, it was always hard because it was, you'd have Chicago would be good for a couple of years. We'd be good for a couple of years. Toronto would be good for a couple of years. Minnesota, Detroit. It's like it was a battle every game.
It's not easy.
No, it sure ain't.
It isn't easy. What a great opportunity here to have you in the studio and come in and see us. Thanks for doing it.
Love you guys. Happy to do it.
Likewise there, kid.
All right. That's Brendan Morrow. That's all from Ice Guardians tonight.